officials say they are drafting plans to attack not just bin Laden, but the Taliban rulers of Afghanistan who allow him to operate from their territory, either killing bin Laden and destroying his camp, or forcing the Taliban.
If I were to seriously consider running on a national ticket, I would essentially have to start now before having served a day in the Senate. Now, there are some people who might be comfortable doing that, but I'm not one of those people.
Well, first of all, I became chairman of this committee at the beginning of this campaign, at the beginning of 2007. So it is true that we haven't had oversight hearings on Afghanistan.
No, what has he accomplished, sir? You say you support him, sir. You have to give me his accomplishments. You've supported him for president. You're on national television. Well, name his legislative accomplishments, Barack Obama, sir.
Well, I'm not going to be able to name you specific items of legislative accomplishment.
Can you name anything he's accomplished as a congressman?
No, I'm not going to be able to do that tonight.
Maybe they do things differently in Illinois, but here now we have a story that from the LA Times suggesting that Barack Obama said he accidentally pressed the wrong button in casting votes while he was in the Illinois state legislature.
Schuster. You know what, Joe? If this story is true, it is outrageous. I mean, how can Barack Obama, who's now running for the president, have pushed the wrong buttons? I mean, that's your key. I mean, it's not as if he had all these other distractions. Your job as a state legislature or a member of the U.S. Senate is to know exactly what you're voting on.
The point is, part of what happens in Washington is folks will twist your words around, try to pretend you said stuff you didn't say, try to pretend you didn't say stuff you did. We know that game.
And let me make one last point about the comparison to McGovern and Dukakis. Both excellent men. But I'm a pretty darn good politician.
And he says what he has to say as a politician. I say what I have to say as a pastor. He does what politicians do. So that what happened in Philadelphia, where he had to respond to the sound bites, he responded as a politician.
I do think it's important whether you're willing to take hard positions. What I didn't hear was an explanation for why over 100 times you voted present instead of yes or no when you had a choice to vote up or down.
I'll be happy to answer. Because you are absolutely right. Most of these did not have political consequences. I oppose legislation that now is being used against me politically to make sure that juveniles were not put in the criminal justice system as adults, even though it was not the smart thing to do politically. Or to suggest, as Hillary just did, that I was in favor of single payer. I never said that we should try to go ahead and get single payer. I happen to be a proponent of a single payer universal health care plan.
My objections to the war in Iraq were not simply a speech. I was in the midst of a U.S. Senate campaign. It was a high-stakes campaign. I was one of the most vocal opponents of the war, and I was very specific as to why. I have put forward a plan that will get our troops out by the end of 2009.
You just said he'll revisit it when he gets to the White House. So what the American public thinks is a commitment to get combat forces out in 16 months isn't a commitment, isn't it?
You can't make a commitment in whatever month we're in now, in March of 2008, about what circumstances are going to be like in January 2009. We can't even tell what Bush is up to in terms of troop pauses and so forth.
I had a uncle who was one of the who was part of the first American troops to go into Auschwitz and liberate the concentration camps.
But something's stirring across the country because of what happened in Selma, Alabama, because some folks are willing to march across a bridge. And so they got together and Barack Obama Jr. was born. So don't tell me I don't have a claim on Selma, Alabama. Don't tell me I'm not coming home when I come to Selma, Alabama. I'm here because somebody marched for free.
Hillary ain't never been called a nigger. Hillary is married to Bill, and Bill have been good to us. No, he ain't. Bill did us just like he did Monica Lewinsky. He was riding
government lied about inventing the HIV virus as a means of genocide against people of color. Governments lie. No, no, no. Not God bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible.
There's a second name that's important here. His name is William Ayers. You used it. Billy Ayers of the Weather People. Not a casual acquaintance, but he's not Barack Obama's generation. He's more a mentor to Barack Obama.
It was this morning's Chicago Sun-Times, as you point out, that reported that many of the buildings that Tony Rezko was supposed to transform into affordable housing are today unlivable or boarded up. 11 of those buildings are in what was State Senator Barack Obama's district.
I'll be damned if I'm going to sit back while you tear down Farrakhan and Jeremiah Wright. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
How dare they subject us to such dishonor and disgrace? How dare they drag the good name of the United States of America through the mud?
Tragedy in Kansas. 10,000 people died. An entire town destroyed.
And over the last 15 months, we've traveled to every corner of the United States. I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go.
What they'll say is, well, it costs too much money. But you know what? It would cost about it would cost about the same as what we would spend. Over the course of 10 years, it would cost what it would cost us. All right. Okay. We're going to. It would cost us about the same as it would cost for about, hold on one second. I can't hear myself. But I'm glad you're fired up, though. I'm glad.
I have no doubt that once the nomination contest is over, I will get the people who voted for her. Now the question is, can she get the people who voted for me?
There is an 80% chance in the next election that I will tell all my friends I am voting for Barack Obama, but I will secretly vote for John McCain.